Next month, new licensing laws come in. They're an attempt to curb binge drinking and violence in Adelaide's CBD. After 3 o'clock, venues will effectively lock their doors, allowing those inside to continue drinking, but stopping others joining in or going pub crawling. The combination of youth and alcohol can have devastating consequences, as you will see in a moment's time. While police and emergency services pick up the pieces, another group has started working in Hindley Street, and recently 730 SA spent the night with them.
We see young people who have drunk too much and are unconscious on the side of the street, in the gutter or in a doorway of a venue, and other people just sort of walk past and don't really notice or help out. Occasionally we see violence break out as well.
Another bus offloads its cargo of young people near Hindley Street in Adelaide's CBD. The kaleidoscope of pubs, clubs and alcohol is an irresistible magnet.
I love it. Legend!
For many, the object is a big night out. But moving amongst the revellers is a group of their peers who encourage a lighter night.
This is what it's like being on the street team. So we'd be walking fairly slowly up and down this part of Hindley Street looking for people that need support. Someone could be sick, someone could actually be vomiting in the gutter.
They're the Green Team, and apart from team leader Jess Bigg, they're all volunteers.
How do I feel about Hindley Street? I think sometimes it gets a bad rap, but at the same time, there are definite spots that need some support. I think there are a lot of people that come into the city to celebrate safely, and they do so, but then for some people it just takes a bit of a turn for the worse, and we want to be there to help pick up the pieces when that happens.
Before her friends arrived, the Green Team helped this young woman. Earlier, they'd assisted a young man who was so drunk he was on all fours. They're hardly isolated examples. Nevertheless, at around 1 a.m, Jess Bigg counts tonight as a quiet one.
It seems to be getting busier, but I do feel that the vibe is fairly happy. It's sort of funny how different Saturday nights can be happy or more aggressive, but tonight seems to be a positive vibe on the street.
She spoke too soon. For one young man, a suspected combination of alcohol and an ill-timed dash across busy Morfett Street turns the night tragically wrong.
A man was hit by a car, he ran across the road, there was a crunch, he's down.
I guess it sounded like a thud, and followed by a crack. So, and from my experience, I guess it's the body hitting the car and the head hitting the windscreen. It's a very scary sound. It's certainly something that'll stick with you, and yeah, something that'll stick with me.
Green Team volunteer Claire O'Donnell has paramedic training. With other bystanders, she makes sure the critically injured 21-year-old has a pulse, is breathing and is kept still.
I feel very sad for him. I feel like I wish I could do more. I wish I could have done more at the time. You feel very restricted when you've just got, your first aid in your hands, and there's nothing more that you can really do except call help for him.
As emergency services work on the man, the complications for police grow. A fight breaks out across the road.
The difficulty is that if you have very large numbers, and particularly of young people who are often very exuberant, and if you mix alcohol into that mix, it's an unpredictable element, and it can easily, very, very easily escalate into not just conflict, but overt violence and really severe problems.
Professor Anne Roach of Flinders University is a specialist in drug and alcohol addiction. She says what happens in Hindley Street at night can be seen in any Australian city. The data shows that while the majority of Australians aged from 15 to 25 has become more conservative with alcohol consumption, a significant minority has become much more extreme. There's also been another remarkable social change, where after midnight, places like Hindley Street become a monoculture, with very few people over the age of 30.
That didn't happen 10 or 15, 20 years ago. And so we've had a real change in the way young people live their lives. So what you see, the way those particular sort of streets and laneways are now used during the night are very different to the way they're occupied during the day, and they turn essentially into kind of public party scenes to a very large extent.
She doesn't believe next month's new 3 a.m. lockout laws alone will significantly change that. This is where the Green Team fits in, with a wealth of public party experience. They're part of the Christian youth group Encounter Youth, which started engaging in Schoolies Week in 1999.
Certainly from our work in the schoolies environment, we've seen a very chaotic, at times hostile and dangerous environment change to a very successful, well-structured celebration environment where really the incidence of crime and also harm to young people has been significantly reduced over the last 15 years.
What works and what doesn't work?
Well, we don't believe that it's that effective to tell young people what to do. I think past the age of about 4 or 5 years old, no one likes being told what to do. So we try and provide that peer support to them, that positive support. And we really are trying to get across a clear message to young people that we believe in them. We believe that they can have a positive and good future.
The Green Team came to Hindley Street a year ago. Whether they can make a change here remains to be seen, but it is clear that Schoolies has given the Green Team credibility. Many of the young people out tonight already know them from Schoolies, including this young man who makes a promise.
I'm not going to drink at all, am I? No?
I'll make sure of it.
Do you think he'll keep his word and not drink anymore tonight?
I am a hopeful person, so yeah, I hope so, but I doubt it. We'll see. There's no way of knowing really, but I hope so.
Along with their weekly Saturday night patrols, once a month the Green Team run a photo booth. Snaps, snags and fairy bread. It all works, either to slow the drinking or to slow the effects. The most important thing, though, is being there and being different. But even the best guardian angel can't always save people from themselves. The day after the young man was hit, the Green Team meets to debrief. His fate is the main topic of conversation, but it's also a reaffirmation of what they're trying to do.
As a 21-year-old, you kind of expect that your life's going to be pretty cruisy, I guess. You go out with your mates and have fun and don't expect something like this to happen and then completely flip your world upside down. I feel like, all I want to do is find out how he is and help in some other way, but obviously, he's got family and friends, so they'll be doing that for him.